Hey, this is Gary from Night Dreams Talk Radio. I want to welcome a new sponsor to our show, PhoenixShaving.com. I know what you're thinking, right? Oh, another disposable razor company. Well, the fact is they're not. You remember the razors that your father and his father shaved with? Did you ever notice they didn't have, well, the embarrassing razor burn or ingrowing hairs or the razor bumps after they shaved? Did you notice they were also relaxed after they were done shaving? Well, the problem is these big corporations want to sell you razor after razor after razor. Think about how much money you spend a year on razors. Or do you use electric razor? Then you're going to find out what razor burn is. So you need to check out Phoenix Shaving Starter Kits. They come complete with the soap, the brush, and a 2.5-month supply of blades. And the most important part of it, an all-metal razor built to last generations. So, hey, you can donate it to one of your sons when they turn 18. Check out PhoenixShaving.com and tell them that Gary from Night Dream said, hey, I want one. That's PhoenixShaving.com now.
Our intro music is provided by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com.
You're listening to Night Dreams Radio with Gary Anderson.
Well, hi, everybody. Tonight is going to be a great night. We got Anthony on, who is a number one or near number one bookseller on Amazon. Mind travel, or time travel, using your mind. And I'm going to bring him on, in fact, right now. So let's see here. Anthony, are you there?
I'm here, yep.
Well, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Hey, when are we going to have some decent weather here?
I don't know, where are you now?
Well, I'm up in Gig Harbor, Washington, probably, about 140 some miles away from you?
Oh, okay. Well, it was raining today, but actually it hasn't been that bad, you know.
Yeah, well, I ride a motorcycle. I prefer it when it's not raining, so.
That's right, you do.
Hey, but it was a teaser. I don't know how it was about a week ago in your area, but we had some temperatures in the mid-60s for a couple of days, and I was all set. Then all of a sudden, the temperature dropped again.
Oh, it was warm. Yeah, it was warm.
Oh, yeah. So why don't you tell everybody what you do for a living? You still there?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm getting two feeds somehow.
You're getting two feeds. Oh, and let me look.
Yeah,
here.
I can hear you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I think I know what it is. I'm listening to the show, perhaps, in the background. Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here looking at my board here and figured, I'm 66 years old, so I'm forgetting things at my age. So I started thinking, hey, maybe I forgot something here.
No, that's right. No, I was listening to the show, the previous guest, before I went on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to be a university communications professor.
Uh-huh.
I retired in 2009, and so basically I taught people how to write, how to do presentations, how to create meetings, and put together proposals and that sort of thing.
Oh, wow.
And before that, for about 25 years or so before that, starting in the early 1980s, I was a freelance motivation trainer, motivation consultant, traveling around, trying to find people to hire me to teach their staff how to be more successful, more purposeful, happier, produce more results in their lives and in their work. So, for about 25 years, that's what I did. And I taught people how to use the power of their mind to visualize and create a better life, and then to step into it. And by using a series of mental exercises, develop the clarity, the perseverance, the persistence, the motivation, perhaps, and cultivate the attitudes and the beliefs necessary to actually step into this dream that they created for their life and actually experience it and attract it physically. So you could say, turning your dreams and ideas and thoughts into physical reality, that was the underlying plan and purpose. But that sounds a little airy-fairy, right? But it's actually true. I mean, I'm sure your listeners are well aware that everything that is created, including this computer that I'm using right now to talk to you, and the furniture that I'm sitting at, and the house that I'm living in, it all started with a thought, with an idea. So basically, what I teach people to do, and what I did before I started my career as a university teacher, was I taught people how to create an image or a goal. You might call it a goal or a dream, and get that dream in their new life designed to such a degree that they could internally, using their imagination, step into it and develop the motivation, the inspiration, and the attitudes and beliefs to actually create that reality for themselves.
Uh-huh. So, boy, how do you get people motivated to work, at the job place? I mean, how do you do it?
Well, basically, it comes down to, helping people realize that what they're doing is important to them. I mean, obviously, if people are working, they're earning money, so people need money to live. So if people just simply focus on what they're getting out of the job they're in, they're going to be motivated to do a better job. And when they think about all the spillover benefits that come from their work, in terms of the things they can provide their family and their friends and that sort of thing, people tend to get motivated. And also the element of communication comes in, communication between individual workers in a workplace, and also between the management and the people that are, giving the orders or giving the directions. And if people respect each other and they have a clear vision of what it is they're trying to work on and create together, people tend to get motivated, especially if they're getting rewarded either emotionally or financially or both, really.
Oh, wow. Did you run across some employers that just didn't believe in that type of system?
Oh, yeah. But they're generally the people that didn't hire me.
Yeah, that is so true.
They didn't see the value that I was bringing to them, But no, generally people, it's funny, people are very open and also very, very hip and very aware to the idea of, visualizing law of attraction. As you think about, you bring about, a lot of people have read books like Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill said very famously, what you can conceive and believe you can achieve. So a lot of people are at least familiar with those kind of concepts. Most people don't really know too much about it. They haven't studied them, and they don't know exactly how they work. But they certainly are familiar with the idea that everything starts in the mind. And so that's the area that I work in. And a lot of people, most people, in fact, that I came across in the work that I was doing were very open to the idea that, when you change your attitude, you change your reality. And when you shift your perception, the way you look at things, what you used to perceive as a problem, suddenly you start perceiving as an opportunity. And when you do that kind of thing on a systematic basis, you realize that, developing a positive attitude and developing a positive mindset, you can have a huge shift in your ability to create more of what you want in your life.
Oh, okay. In other words, like if you go to work hating your job and not caring about it, you're not going to get anywhere. But if you kind of maybe, like you're saying, it can make a big difference in your performance of your job and probably just make it from the standpoint that you would enjoy all of a sudden going to work when you look at it at the way you're talking about it, and not just work. I mean, like everyday life.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Now, of course, if people hate their job, I mean, and if they're in a situation that they don't want to be in, but they're in because they're desperate, their attitude's probably not going to be the best. But, more and more people are actually open to these ideas, as I said, and it's very it's very common to walk into a workplace, as I did repeatedly, and find that management was really open to any ideas that I could present to them that would make their employees happier and better workers, more ambitious, and better communicators. So people are generally pretty open to these kind of ideas.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I ran some pretty large businesses. And, when you have a group of employees that aren't happy or, are not motivated, it really, their performance is way down. And it can cost a business so much more money because they're not being productive.
Oh, absolutely. So, of course, every business, as people say, is the reflection of one person, right? Generally, the person who started the business or the person who owns the business has a vision for it and has ideas, pretty clear ideas of what it is they're trying to create, And so part of the process, of course, is to get the right employees that are in alignment with that vision. Of course, if they're not, then they probably shouldn't be there. But if they are, and you can communicate to them in a way that they see that their personal values and goals are in alignment with the company values and goals, and what they are bringing to the workplace is actually enhancing everything that goes on, not only in their own life, but in the lives of their coworkers and in the company as a whole, then you can get some powerful synergy and really make some powerful shifts in your ability to get things done.
Well, I got a funny feeling, too. It really affect your home life, too, because, I mean, if you're more productive at work and you actually enjoy work, I mean, there's been situations like I have had some jobs where, I liked it, but, I wasn't really motivated because the management didn't know how to focus the employees to be motivated. And of course that was years and years ago. I mean, if somebody like you would have came along and, it pointed out the good and the bad and how to work around it, I think it would have made, such more, difference in my, doing my job and getting, things accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, when I started, as a teenager in early 20s, when I started working, I didn't have these ideas either. I was just looking for any kind of work that would pay my bills, and I wasn't, necessarily a very good employee, and a lot of the employers I had weren't very good either. But as I got more education, as I returned to university and developed some of my ideas of the power of the mind, I studied philosophy and linguistics in university, then I became exposed to more and more of these ideas. So, you could easily say, and I think it's true as well, that the person I was when I was 20 years old was completely different from the person I became when I was 40 or 45 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all go through that. It's called growth. But
I think so.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my first job. It was in a car wash, and I tell you, that was the first job I ever had, and I swore after I left there, I'd never go back to a car wash.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the first jobs I had were mostly working in either factories or warehouses or doing construction, and they were pretty menial jobs. They didn't pay very well. They were difficult. They were dangerous in a lot of cases, and they certainly weren't very fulfilling, But once I sort of got my head straight and I realized that I had a brain and a mind, and I started looking for work that I could use my talents and abilities on, then I started getting into writing and being creative. And for a while I was in sales, and I was also into advertising copywriting. So, as I get into using my natural gifts and my creativity, of course, the kind of work I was doing was a lot more fulfilling.
Oh, yeah. So, mind travel, time travel, mind travel. Why don't we touch a little bit on that?
Yeah, that's